Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Rachel. If we haven't met before, welcome. It's the golden hour in the morning, one of my favorite times of the day. For some reason, I kept having this little saying cross my mind as I was just sitting out here listening to the birds and just kind of looking around, and it was go down swinging. And I had this flashback of when I was 9 years old. This was around the time that Hurricane Katrina hit the New Orleans area, and I was living in Baton Rouge. My sister and I were recruited to play for the state softball team. And there was a game. We were in El Paso, Texas, and we were playing for, I want to say it was like regionals, and or it could have been still, we were in state, we could have been in Homa. But there was a game that if we had won, we would have won the whole thing. This team had to beat us twice in order to play for the championship. And I remember I was like the last person who was coming up to bat, and there was like 2 outs, and this was fast pitch softball, so they would I'm not fast pitch. We were still younger at the time. They used a pitching machine, so they would slip the ball in, and it'd be calculated to like a certain speed for the level that we were playing at. And so, you know, I was up to bat, and I was so nervous. And I remember I literally got called out because I didn't swing at the last pitch. That was how the game ended, that I let the ball go by, and it was a strike. Umpire called it a strike. And I remember like I was devastated because I didn't even swing. And it's just like the worst. Like if I would have swung and missed, or like I would have swung and popped up, or something, that would have been so much better, because at least I would have put some effort into the reason why we lost the game. But I just let that ball go by, and it was like a tragic ending. I remember I cried, and afterwards, my dad, and my sister, because my sister played with me, they're like, it wasn't just that one play. Like, you were not just the sole reason why y'all lost the game. Like, it was the first play of the game. It was it was all the things that added up until this point. And it reminds me of this because, like, it reminded me, I guess, why I'm thinking about it now. I'm sitting in the sun because, like, your health, where you want to be with anything, it's all your habits. It's not just that one thing. It's not just that one dessert at night that's throwing you back. It's not just the lack of exercise. Excuse me. I'm still waking up, still getting my voice warm, guys. But it's all your habits throughout the entire day, right? Like disease like diabetes, or any disease, really, any of these chronic disease, they have been chronic over time, right? They have been built up from the morning, from the moment you wake up. It is all throughout the day that you are building these habits. You're building this health. It's not just one habit. So on that note, like, don't zoom in on one particular habit you may have that is like, you think it is like breaking the camel's back, because it's oftentimes not just that one habit. And for me, it could be like, years ago, I had issues with craving going to the refrigerator, the pantry at 10 p.m. and wanting to eat my little snacks or whatever I had available to me at that time. And you don't always have to address that one habit. Like, you can throw in other good habits to support that one bad habit that you have, right? So understanding, like, why do I even have this craving to begin with? Well, my body doesn't feel like it's safe. It doesn't feel like it has gotten all the nutrients it needed. So it is looking outside of itself to satiate, to cope with what it hasn't gotten. So if I am having a breakfast in the morning if I'm setting my biochemistry up in a more stable foundational place, then at night, I may not have those cravings at all. And for me, this is how I went about it. I didn't focus on, okay, it's not what I don't need to do, it's what I'm not doing. So in the morning, that was waking up, coming in the sun, and getting that light exposure, right? Because the light hits the suprachiasmatic nuclei, right, of the brain. It stimulates the axis of the brain, which all of our hormones are leaking down into the body, right? If you have adrenal fatigue, getting out in the sun and training your cortisol, training your circadian rhythm, it's one of the best ways to reduce stress and showing your body that it's awake, and to stimulate these wakeful hormones in the morning, right? You can break your metabolism, break your fast by going into the sun. And not being in a hurry. You don't have to believe that you're in a hurry. Like the last few mornings, I found myself waking up in flight mode, like, oh my god, I need to do all these things. I need to even the things that I normally do slow, like I come outside, read my book, drink a little bit of my coffee. Like, why am I rushing through that process? Like, you could just sit here and listen to the birds, real still, just real still. And so yeah, it's not just that one bad habit. Where can I build good habits? Like you could be a wine drinker, right? I had a client who's once a wine drinker. She's like, I have to have this wine in the afternoon. I said, what is the context of this habit that you're doing? And she said, I have my wine and I watch my TV. Well, okay, you're gonna have your wine, watch your TV, but what about we do like some stretches while we're doing this, right? What can I pair something good with my bad habits? You know what I'm saying? My bad habits. And like Alan Watts says, nothing is neither good nor bad. It's just kind of like in the context of us thinking about it. So perhaps I have this one habit that it's like I'm putting all this negative energy towards. Like, I don't need to be doing this. You're beating yourself up about it, but let's build one good habit outside of that. And like, even if you have, let's say, like, I was addicted to like the Ben & Jerry's ice cream, the hot fudge brownie, and let's say like I know the effects of having protein in the body before I have a lot of sugar, so that way, instead of my blood sugar going way up and way down and being chaotic and leaving my heart rate and my body dehydrated before I go to sleep, let's say I have a protein rich dinner, and I'm literally just satiating my body with all the minerals and nutrients. I'm hydrating before I dehydrate. It's not perfect, but my sugar levels may be a little bit more stable as I partake in that bad habit. So there's things that you can work with, even with the ice cream. Apple cider vinegar before has been shown to reduce the blood sugar spike for 30%. So when I was learning about the stuff that I'm learning about in as far as keeping the blood sugar stable, I would use these little hacks so that I could still enjoy the habits that I was used to and essentially addicted to, until one day, waking up early, feeding my body early, I didn't have these cravings late at night anymore. And even if I did, I could step back from the cravings and realize that, like, my body is just craving this right now. Like, I would, if it's real bad, like, I would just get like a spoonful of honey, right? That sugar will satiate me in that way. So that's what I was thinking about. Definitely go down swinging. I'm a big fan. Since that moment when I was 9 years old, I would just have always had this mentality of, you better go down swinging, Rachel. I don't care what it looks like, but you give it your all, no matter how messy it looks like. And I think about this in terms of like my parents and people whom I love. I go down swinging for them all the time. Like, if I feel that they're struggling in some way, I try to offer help. And that's evolved for me in the last few years too. Like, even with my grandparents, I've tried to slip some give them some coconut oil, right? Because coconut oil, Dr. Mary Newport's work with healthy fats and helping to reduce the effects of Alzheimer's and dementia are phenomenal. So, I try to go down swinging in every area of my life. Sometimes it's ugly, I recently went down swinging in a pretty ugly scenario. But you have no regrets when you come from a place of love. Like I always tell my parents, like, I'm gonna keep that fire lit under you guys. Like I always ask them, are y'all staying working out, moving, and keep eating your protein. As we get older, our body doesn't utilize as much muscle mass. We have higher levels of cortisol, so we're breaking down the muscle quicker. So it's really important. Like Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, she is like a geriatric physician who is protein forward, so check her out if you are older or trying to cope with stress. She talks about strength training and how muscle is the largest endocrine organ on the body. It's the best way to regulate our blood sugar and our autonomic nervous system, which is our subconscious that we're working with. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this here with our last quote that we've been reading recently. May you always be blessed with the clarity to know what is and what isn't for you. When you are making changes in your life, are you waking up early and feeling like you have rested? That's how you know you're in the right place. I find that when we're on the wrong path in life, I do believe that we have a highest version of ourselves. We have a version of ourselves who's always guiding and taking care of us, and then we have that lower portion of ourselves who's looking to sabotage, the one who gives into the cravings. But there's a higher version of you who is taking excellent care of you, who is making these healthy decisions. And when we're not sleeping at night, I believe that is our body's way of drawing us to a specific area. Your body's being kept awake at night because your soul is trying to speak to you. At nighttime, we get a lot of downloads about where we are in life, and if you're having insomnia or trouble sleeping, ask your body, instead of fighting this resistance of why can't I sleep, I'm tired of being awake, ask your body, what are you trying to tell me? What is it in my daily habits that you are trying to wake me up to? Where am I out of alignment, right? Because being in the sleep state, being in our circadian rhythm, we are in alignment. Having the blood sugar stabilized the majority of the time, we are in alignment. The body will always tell us, our intuition, our body is our intuitive guide, so it will keep you awake at night when you are not in the right place. I truly, truly believe that. So all it takes is asking for clarity. Asking, you shall receive. The cells, of course, have an intelligence flowing through them. There is an intelligence flowing through you. It's beating your heart right now. It's blinking your eyes. It's breathing for you. And you're not even thinking about that. It's digesting for you. There's an intelligence within your body, within all of our bodies. And all it requires is that you be willing and open to ask for guidance. So I'm your biggest fan. Be nice to yourself because your cells are listening. And I hope that you have a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. We don't even know it's going to happen. The possibilities are endless at this point. So anyway, I will catch you next time. As always, good luck.